Welcome to episode 1 of Forkin' Amazing. In this episode, we're going to be cooking my version of the Indian classic, butter chicken. First up, we're going to need to make a puree of ginger and garlic. I find that using the edge of a spoon to peel the skin from the ginger works best. Remove the skin from a whole head of garlic and peel away each of the cloves, ready to be topped and tailed. We'll be using this puree throughout the recipe, so we're going to need half a cup of ginger, half a cup of garlic, and also half a cup of water just to get things flowing in the blender. I'm going to use chicken thighs as they're really well suited to being barbecued. Ideally, you want to have thighs that are skin on but are boneless. These ones actually still have the bone running through the thigh, so we're going to have to remove these. Take a knife and run it along each edge of the bone to expose it. This is then going to allow you to run the knife underneath the bone and slip it out so that you can pull the bone away. Removing these bones makes skewering the meat later on far easier. Finally, trim away any excess skin or fat. Repeat this process for each of the thighs and we'll be ready for the first step of the marinade. For this, add garlic ginger paste, chilli powder, salt and freshly squeezed lemon juice to a bowl and whisk together until well combined. Once our first marinade is ready, we're going to add the chicken thighs and leave them to sit for around 10 minutes. This process is going to allow the salt to really penetrate the chicken and season it throughout. The second part of the marinade is where most of the flavour lies. Add 2 heaped tablespoons of natural yoghurt, half a cup of vegetable oil, ginger garlic paste, chilli powder, garam masala, preferably homemade, turmeric, and finally salt. Whisk together until smooth and the mix is free of lumps. Add the chicken to the marinade once it's been sitting in the salt and lemon mix for around 10 minutes. Once the chicken is evenly coated, pop it into the fridge to marinate for 6 hours or overnight. Now that we've finished with the chicken, we can move on to the next part of the recipe, the sauce. The sauce itself is broken down into 2 parts, the makhni or butter gravy and the onion tomato masala. First up, let's make the gravy by chopping 6 medium tomatoes into quarters. Take 1 green chilli, remove the stem, de-seed, quarter it, and finally dice. And now we get to the important ingredient, the butter. Melt the butter in a heavy based pan, add salt, and heat until melted and bubbling. Add some garlic and ginger paste, and mix through until you've cooked off that raw flavour. Add tomato and green chilli, and mix through until combined. We're going to slowly cook these tomatoes until they boiled right down to a pulp. To achieve this, cover the pan with a lid and leave for around 40 minutes. Once the tomatoes are cooked down, we're going to add some double cream, honey, and a little extra salt. This combination of ingredients brings a real luxurious, rich quality to the sauce. Allow the sauce to cool slightly, add to a blender and blitz. You're looking for a velvety smooth texture like so. Finish the gravy with fenugreek leaves, another squeeze of honey and some roughly chopped coriander leaves. Mix through the final ingredients and set the gravy aside. Next up, we're making the onion tomato masala. First, slice lengthways along each half of the onion, then make a sideways cut, followed by a final dice towards the base. For our masala, we're going to prepare our tomatoes a little differently. This is where we're going to bring some real texture to the dish, so we're going to roughly chop the tomatoes. To begin cooking the masala, add vegetable oil and salt to a pan. Once hot, add garlic ginger paste and briefly cook out. Next, add the onions. We're looking to really well brown these onions so that they have a lovely complex depth of flavour. Add butter to the pan and turn the heat down. We're looking to really slowly caramelise these onions here. Next, add the tomatoes and cook down until most of the juices have evaporated. Add chilli powder and garam masala and mix through nicely. Now we can set this masala aside, ready for the next part of our recipe. For the chicken, we're going to pierce the meat with some skewers. This helps us to cook more evenly as the metal heats up the chicken from the centre out. You can grill or bake the marinated chicken for this dish, but for me, there's nothing quite like the smoky flavour you get when you cook over fire. In India, it's common to cook in a charcoal-fired oven called a tandoor, but I'm going to capture similar results using my barbecue. I'd recommend you do the same if you have one at home. Once the chicken is cooked, we're going to slide the pieces off of the skewers and then cut each thigh into half. Make sure your chicken's cooked through, but still nice and juicy. Next up, we're going to finish the curry by bringing each of the elements together. We're going to combine our fire roasted chicken, onion tomato masala and makhani gravy. First off, melt some butter in a pan, add green chilli and some coriander seeds. We're looking for a little colour on this chilli before we add our chicken. Once the chicken is coated in butter, we're going to add our masala. This method may seem overcomplicated, but adding the sauce components at this final stage gives us pockets of deeper textured masala to contrast with a sweet, rich makhani gravy, rather than having a more one-dimensional sauce. Once we've added the gravy, we're going to make some final touches with garam masala, chili powder and some roughly chopped coriander. Mix through the ingredients and allow the curry to reduce gently for around 5 minutes. This butter chicken is best served immediately and goes great with pilau rice and a freshly baked naan bread. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see the full recipe, head over to the website listed in the description below. Please hit that subscribe button and see you next time.